Heretic is directed by Scott Beck and Brian Woods, and it stars Hugh Grant, Sophie Thatcher, and Chloe East. Sophie Thatcher plays Sister Barnes, Chloe East plays Sister Paxton, and Hugh Grant plays Mr. Reed, and those are the only three characters that are really in this movie, which is really nice because we get to see the topic of religion, which is a massive and overblown thing, I think, in most walks of life, but we get to see it from the perspective of three very different and distinct people here, and based on their level of belief or reasoning, that could spell out life or death for them. So I'll keep this synopsis short and sweet, just like the trailer, which I think did a really good job, by the way, of selling this movie without telling you too much, which is what trailers should do. So essentially, Sister Barnes and Sister Paxton are going door to door, knocking on people's homes and pretty much just selling their religion to anyone and everyone that hasn't been indoctrinated. And this all leads them to Mr. Reed, who invites them into his home and pretty much tells them the only way they can leave is by questioning their faith. Now, the first thing that really stuck out to me about this movie is once all our three characters meet and are in Mr. Reed's home, there's a blistering storm outside. It's extremely loud. There's a bit of music that's playing in the background as well, which is just a score, which is cool, I guess, as well. But once they enter the home, it goes completely silent. Like, there is no music, there is no sound. The only thing you can hear is the tick of a clock in the background and just our three characters talking and getting to know each other. Now, one of the things in a movie that really helps set the tone is score and sound design, and the lack thereof of those two things in this scene where our three characters are getting to know each other just leaves this extremely eerie feeling within the depths of your stomach, and it just makes you feel like you do not know what's going to happen next or what the end result of this conversation is going to be. And I think what really instills this raw, unnerving, and disturbing feeling in the pit of your stomach during this scene is how synergistic these three actors are. And just because one of the party members in this trio, being Mr. Reed, who is not indoctrinated into Sister Paxton or Sister Barnes' belief system, just because he's the outlier here, it doesn't mean that these three characters can't have an intriguing and meaningful conversation, which is what they do have, and it's super, super interesting. And that's also to say that the script and the writing here is fucking fantastic. Oh my god, is it so refreshing when a piece of media or a movie or a TV show has good writing for once these days. Like, holy fuck, it's so bad. Just every other TV show or movie I watch, just the writing is terrible, but here it's fucking fantastic. And it delves into, I think, one of the most discussed and debated topics of all time, being religion. Where it started, how it originated, what are the iterations of it, how many are there, and why you believe in it, where your belief system started, where your faith came from, and why you continue to kind of follow it. I think it's a great conversation to be had, and it's really well done in this movie. And there's a really great monologue towards the beginning of this movie with Mr. Reed, who's Hugh Grant, who just does a great job of pretty much dissecting all the different parts of religion and how they came to be, and asks all those great questions. And it's just a really great monologue. It's super entertaining. And if you're someone with internet brain rot that just got off a 6-hour shift of doom scrolling on TikTok, don't worry, there are some great pop culture references relating to the topic of religion as well. I know I've gone on and on and on about religion, but it really is the driving force of this narrative. And another way it really makes an impact in this film is the set design, weirdly enough. So Mr. Reed lives in a very quiet and quaint, simple home, but as you start to peel back the layers of his religious understanding, you start to see the influence those ideas have on the way that the home is decorated. Then once you start to go down the rabbit hole of that religious commentary of the pretty much game that Mr. Reed wants to play with these girls, you start to see how dark and grim it can really be. And once you go darker and deeper into the levels of this game, ironically, there is no source or hope for light. There is only faith left. Look, I had a really great time with this movie. It is in one of my favorite genres of all time, being horror and thriller, and I think it uses and encompasses all of those genre staples really, really well, while also providing an awesome commentary on religious belief and the state and trajectory of it through history. Also, without getting into spoilers, the ending of this movie is fan-fucking-tastic. It makes you question your faith and belief in what you just witnessed. Very on brand and on par for a movie like this, which is fantastic. Anyway, that is to say that Heretic is amazing. Also, funny thing to note here at the end of this movie, in the credits, if you stay long enough, you'll see that it says there's no AI used in the making of this film, which is just so funny that they have to say that these days. There's a really cool shot, like transition in one of the parts of the movie, which I think may be creating a little bit of confusion if there was AI there or not. But yeah, I guess they put it out there. They said it. No AI in this film. Awesome.